Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Black Clover episode 112. So, last time we had three separate battles going on with none of them coming to conclusion, but it was interesting to see them all getting kind of set up and ready for that, you know. We had the our characters that got sucked in by Dorothy. In the glamour world, we got to see their antics in there. They were kind of struggling for a bit, but luckily Sally is very smart and with them at the moment because she managed to figure out that you can just, like, anything that Dorothy thinks of, like, even if it just pops into her mind for a second, it's created in that world. So, they managed to say, like, doors or exits, you know, and a bunch of them popped up. So it's going to be interesting to see if they manage, you know, we didn't get to see them actually go through the exit, you know, that might be a whole nother challenge, but at least they have some exits made. So that was a really cool workaround to their stuff. We also have Asta and the others fighting Gauche and Marie, which her Elcat, I think it was the elf's version of Marie, but yeah, they're doing pretty good. They had their setbacks during the fight and everything, but Asta managed to get free of the hold spell that he got put into again, and now is in his black form, right? And going crazy, so that'll be fun to see. No, he got grabbed while in his black form, but then his friends managed to help him get out of it, I believe, right towards the end. And we haven't seen more of that. And then we have Yami and Jack traveling into the, what was it called? The Shadow Palace, where they are being confronted by the dude that rolls dice and everything. So a lot of things going on. I'm excited to see all of these fights conclude and what happens, and so much more to come and everything. So let's get started, shall we? All right, let's get started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yes. Destruction. I should have cleaned my glasses before I started recording. I tried to do better about that recently, and then I didn't, but holy crap, they are filthy. Try to do that real fast. I can still read, though. Yes. Yes. Surpass your damn limits. Dorothy. Eh. Not perfect, but should be far better. Try to clean them a little more after the episode. Actually, there's one part that's actually pretty bad. Maybe during the opening. Sorry, he closed his eyes and used key to block. And then Ghost fired out all cylinders and... Ah, wait, fuck, I almost forgot. Yeah, we had a bunch of Henry stuff that made me really worried. Oh, shit. I don't even remember that part, but that... Was that new? I don't remember, like, the disco ball and, like, distracting him with, like, sending magic everywhere that he's just going all around, you know? Huh. Maybe either I'm really stupid or they threw in just a little bit of new stuff right before the opening. Okay, so what am I doing here? ba, 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 do, 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 do. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's so much harder to get my glasses on, because this is the day that or one of the days that I cut my hair off, you know? And when it's like freshly cut, it's always harder to push my glasses, especially with headphones on. It makes it even harder. Behind my ears. I really like this opening song, and I like the visuals, especially there at the end, where it's like flashing between the different things with the song going. It's pretty cool. Hey, we're back in the glamour world. Yeah, not gonna be that easy though, boys and girls. Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, all she has to do is imagine things, right? Well, I knew it couldn't be that easy. They're supposed to be falling asleep, right? Too. Come on, guys, figure it out. Anything goes. What do you got going on, Luck? What could you make her imagine? If we did this, then that. Nice. I don't know why I love when the anime characters go, huma huma! I don't know why it's so funny to me. Huma huma! We didn't hear the plan, so it's gonna work. Oh, those things again. Trying to pay attention, but I'm also trying to think of what they could make her say, or think of, I guess, that would get them out of there. Because I imagine you can't just make her think of somehow canceling the spell or something. Hmm. A fake version of herself? Oh, shit! Ah, interesting. Whoa. And that's really cool. Is that the first time we've seen Dorothy awake? Her actual self? Oh my god, what? Every time we've seen her, she's just sleeping. Oh my god, what a funny personality to have for someone that just has slept up until now. She's 27. She should know the spell pretty good, right? Oh my god. Now, a lot of the elves seem like they use the magic of their hosts when they used to be elves. So, is the elf inhabiting Dorothy, did she use this magic prior? Because I was thinking, like, oh, Dorothy should know this spell better than the elf, but if the elf used the same magic in her lifetime, then I guess she would know it just as much. I'm confused by my own thoughts. Did he lose his black form? He did. Damn. Shit. And they can't replenish it because Charmy's not there. Oh, okay. Oh shit, nice. Shit. Oh, he's expelling them. Oh no, Henry! Ah, no, why you do this transition? Holy shit, we're already halfway through. No, Henry, don't die! Oh. Yes, eat his magic. Yes. Hers too. He's sucking them all. Suck them dry. He must have a plan. He can use it now, though, right? Come on, Henry. Oh. Oh, yes. I wanted him to be pissed. I was just about to say, I want frickin' Asta to get mad. We don't get to see Asta fight, like, genuinely angry too often. Usually he's just very chipper, you know? Oh. Yeah. He's holding the doll. Oh, shit! Man, she's going ham with that magic, huh? Oh my god! Damn! He's carved right through the mirrors. Oh, so they were bound. It didn't have the pink glow, so I didn't realize. Interesting. Can I see more of this guy's? Even he had his eye covered. Wow. Oh my god. Okay, this is... Jeez. This is a lot more info than we've seen before. Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Oh, that was Fauna and Veto. You see his eye? One of his eyes just went, like, black there. Oh, interesting twist there. Interesting. Hmm. A lot of interesting things this episode. Hmm. That was cool. Did Ghost pick up a few new tricks now? I wonder. Oh. Cool. A little bit of Ghost backstory. Awesome. Oh, God. Aw. Aw. Yeah, he's... Hmm. Angry that they all looked out for him. We haven't really learned about Ghosh's backstory, huh? I mean, obviously, I get a little bit of the gist of it, like, from the flashes we got, but obviously there could be more. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say. Uh-oh. Crack the sky? What? Oh, they're breaking out, aren't they? Oh my god, look at that. Jesus. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Nice. Changing everyone a little bit, huh? Oh, the music kicked up. You let us think, so we won. Shit. Is she just gonna take it? She seemed to agree there. Where's Dorothy? Okay. I was like, I don't know if we haven't seen it or I just never noticed it, but the creepiness of seeing her ears vanish was weird. I don't know why. Like, I understand the tattoos vanishing, but like that's such a physical trait. Like, I know they appeared in the first place too, and that's just as weird, but I don't know why, just the visual of it right there was like, oh. Time to eat. Hell yeah. Black Bulls are kicking ass. And that's it. Good shit. Do, 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 do. I'm really curious. Like, I know I say it every time we see this outro, but I'm really curious. Because it almost seems like Asta's in like a really dark place, and then his friends are like coming to him, very serious expressions and talking to him, you know? I'm just curious, like, are we gonna get something like this? Like, are we gonna get a moment where Asta's influenced by maybe the demon in the grimoire? I don't know. Just about over, though. It was a good episode. I really like that one. There's a lot of little things in this one that I want to talk about. Alright, that's it. Alright, that is the end of episode 112. 112. So, yeah, I love I guess just starting from the beginning, I love the idea of how they managed to get out of the glamour world. They made the elf version of Dorothy. They made like a fake cotton version of her, but like clouded it in like fog and everything, um and made it so she could like barely make it out. And then when she was barely able to make out the outline, like the first thing she thought of, was the real Dorothy, and because she thought of that, it made the real Dorothy in the glamour world, which they've already set up the idea in the last episode that the things you make in that world are essentially real versions of what's on the outside world, because they mentioned with the water she created, they were able to break down the chemical compounds of it using the fire and lightning and create an explosion. So they established that what she makes is like based off things in reality. So in order for her to be able to make the copy of Dorothy, it would have to be the actual Dorothy. And I really like that it was Luck's idea. Even though Luck isn't one of the ones that is like extremely smart and well thought out plans, he's kind of like in a way, even though he has lightning powers, he's a lot like the barbarian of the group kind of thing, if you were to think of it like a D&D campaign where he doesn't think much, he just wants to go in and fight, and like he's just gonna go in no matter what. But I really like that it was his idea because he came up with the idea based off his own experience of having a second soul inside him. And, the fact that it wasn't the person they were fighting wasn't Dorothy, it was the elf version. So obviously, it might have been harder to believe if that was the real Dorothy and they tried to play that trick, that it probably wouldn't have worked, because the first thing you're going to think of is, I'm myself, that's not me, rather than it being the elf being like, wait, is that really the real Dorothy? And then because she second guessed it, it was created, is how I kind of took it, having those two souls inside her, it like changed her outlook and the way she thought about it, and that was enough. And I like that was Luck's idea. That was really cool. So Dorothy's 27. That's cool. We don't get ages a lot in the show, so it's kind of neat when we actually do get an age, because fuck, for all I know, this is anime. For all I know, Vanessa's like 14 years old, Like, it wouldn't surprise me, even though I'm fairly certain she's not, But I've seen anime where they've been like, like what? Just recently I watched that one apothecary anime where like the main character quit being in a hero party and made like a potion shop instead and stuff like that. And one of the characters, we found out later on in the show, she's like 18 or something like that, or she might have been 17. Something like that. Anyway, she was like almost she was really late teens. And she straight up looked like a 12-year-old. And even like the way she talked, she sounded like a 12-year-old and everything. And the way she acted, she was very like obsessed with her brother and everything, which kind of gives you an idea of someone that's younger, that hasn't found their independence and stuff. I don't know why I'm talking so much about this, but it was just one of those, another moment in anime where it's like, wait, what? Like, that's weird. And it didn't make it any less weird in the fan service in that show when they showed her almost naked. They basically showed her naked, barely covering the important bits, But anyway, but yeah, cool getting an age. That's neat. So Asta mentioned that the black form he can only use up to 2.5 times now. So I guess the limit has just grown since he's been training, getting better and stuff like that, because he used to have like a once per day limit at the Royal Selection, which wasn't that long ago, But now he's apparently at either... See, maybe I should go back and read it, because I think he said my limit is now 2.5 times, and I've exceeded that, which makes it fall off faster. So basically what I get that is sometimes when he's activating this black form, he's drawing up a little bit of reserves, and he's able to activate it for like a few seconds or whatever. I believe it was before they ejected him, right? He said it like Yeah, it was before all this, I think. They grabbed him, right? He's on the roof. He climbs inside. Yeah, we gave some of our mana to Henry. They tell him to get inside, and then I think he mentions the black form limits, right? How does he word it exactly? Well, here it is. What do I do? Right now I can only go black about 2.5 times. Right. So that sounds like his upper limit. I used it once before coming to the capital, so next time it'll come undone pretty quick. Okay. So what he's saying is the once before coming to the capital. Yeah, he did. I thought he's used it like 3 times now, but maybe one of the times was a long enough gap that he was able to recuperate from it, you know? Because he used it. I'm trying to remember the times that he's used it. Because I know he used it during the fight with Licht, right? But then he had that healing crystal. So I'm kind of thinking that that time didn't count. Because he got healed by the crystal thing or whatever it was that that Silva had, Nozzle had. And so maybe that recuperated him enough physically to activate Black Form again. And then one of the fights, I can't remember whether it was he was too busy helping people in Hage Village, right? I don't think it was him that used Black. I don't think he did a lot of fighting during that. I think that was mainly Yuno that took care of the plant guy, and then Asta freed the people from the poison. And then maybe he might have used it during the fight with like helping Luck. That might have been when he used it again. But I know he used it several times because I remember thinking like, isn't he at his limit when he used it a previous time? You know, so. But yeah, so I guess 2.5 times is his limit now. So it's the way he worded it here. It sounded like this was the second time that just faded, and then he said the next time he does it, it's gonna be shorter because that's the half. I think, right? If I'm understanding it correctly. But yeah, okay. Nice getting a little update on his limit. But also something I noticed is Noelle and the others were bound by Elcat's spell. I didn't realize that. So last episode, I'm pretty sure there was a moment where I said like where it panned to like um Mimosa or one of them and was like they were like, "Oh, I wish I could help, but I can't." And I was like, "Why?" Like you're standing right there watching everything. Like why can't you help? But it turns out it was because they were bound, but they didn't have like before when they were bound they had like a pink magic like around them, and that's how you knew they were bound. I guess just even though they were still bound, they didn't have that pink magic. Either they chose not to animate it, or that's the initial effect of the spell, is it encapsulating you in that pink, and then it fades and you're still held, because they made a notice of after I think after they were Ghosh and Elcat were taken down, they were like, oh, and then they were like, oh, I can move now, and I was like, oh, I guess they were bound, so interesting. All right. I'm glad they cleared that up though, because I was really confused. Really interesting stuff with like the hatred for humans coming from Ghosh, but then seemingly a like realization of like it seemed really instant. Like I almost want to go back to it because it seemed so quick that I feel like we missed something. Because it was showing like how evil these humans are. I'll never forget those human faces, even in death. Tense with fear, but ecstatic. Unreasonable anger. They kill us because of their greed, and their rotten brains warp the truth to fit their needs. Right? Like, so much hatred. They're filthy. Disgusting laughter. how could you do something like that? I just can't understand. I will never forgive you. It makes me sick. You know, he's saying all this shit. My malice is out of control. I won't be satisfied until I rip them to shreds, you filthy, disgusting humans, you know? And then he just says, but that isn't them, you know? So he just, like, it's crazy how he goes from such intense hatred to all of a sudden we, like, cut out of that back flashback, and he's like, but them, that's not them, you know? They're not like that. They're just like us. They're just trying to protect their friends, you know? And I like the development. I just felt like it was like, yeah, this guy hates humans. He ain't ever going back. And then all of a sudden he's like, these humans aren't bad, you know? So, I respect him for being able to not be so caught up in his bias that he's unreasonable and not willing to listen to change or anything, you know? So props to him for that, but it just seemed like it was really, like, quick. But but yeah, that was pretty neat. And also I like that the the entity that was within, like, like the whole Dorothy and elf thing, right? Whoever the elf was that was possessing Dorothy. I like that she had that moment at the very end of the Glamour World when it collapsed where she said, like, the real Dorothy said, you know, if you think about it, not all humans are, you know, greedy and obsessed with all of that stuff, you know? Like, there are some good ones, and I think you realize that when you look at these guys in front of you. I like that she said that because I feel like there is, like, because there's two souls in these bodies, there is a little bit of overlap where they kind of respect each other a little bit more for the body that they're possessing, you know? So when she heard that, I feel like that has a much bigger impact coming from Dorothy than it would coming from anyone else, you know? And I like that it seemed like the elf version of Dorothy took that to heart, you know? And almost, like, gave up, seemingly, when Luck and... Like, I don't want to diminish Luck and Magnet's attacks, right? Like, that was a cool attack that they did. But at the same time, you saw her, like, be like, yeah, or whatever, and shut her eyes. So, like, to me, that seemed like she wasn't fighting anymore. And that's why she got taken down, and Asta was able to free her as well, you know? So, but I thought that was pretty neat. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about briefly, just as we were seeing, throughout this episode, the more, like, I never really thought about it or meant to, like, or came up with, like, a theory, but do you guys think there's anything, well, I guess you guys probably know, so don't answer in the comments, I don't know why I phrased it that way, but I wonder if there's anything more to do with the fact that so many of these elves look so much like the bodies that they're inhabiting. Now, I know they probably, like, for the souls to be able to inhabit a body, it had to be one that closely resembled their own and maybe with their own magic type. But the more elves we see that look so much like their previous, like the humans and the elves look so much alike for the ones that got possessed, I can understand that if it was, like, all across different eras and everything, you know, like, but the fact that they found, like, how many elves are there? Like, there's gotta be at least 50 elves, right? That got reincarnated, probably even more than that. But how did they find 50 people that looked identical all around the same time as or almost identical to their previous selves? It seems crazy, right? And on top of that, those identical copies have the same magic as they had in their previous life, or at least for most of them, you know? So it, like, I don't know. It just seems really coincidental, and I wonder if there's, like, a bigger picture to it, or if it's just anime convenience that, you know, that Gauche looks a lot like the elf version of Gauche, and the elf version of Marie looks just like the regular Marie, and they're both brother and sister in, you know, in elf world or elf times and in these human forms and everything. Like, it's just so like coincidental and everything, and then not even counting all the other elves that seem to look just like their, counters and everything. I don't know. It's I just thought about it this episode where it like really hit me that these like brother and sister possessed humans that look just like them too, and I started to think like maybe there's more to it. But anyway, the last thing that I really want to mention, I think, is right before Ghosh got, or the elf version of Ghosh got removed. He thought for a moment, flashed back to the fight where Asta took the sword from Licht, and Ghosh thought to himself for a moment, Licht, why would you? And then got cut off. That, to me, is very important, and something I'm going to try to remember going forward, because that feels like Licht... Now, we have seen a little example of this, too, when it comes to the Grimoire. It feels like Licht let Asta have the sword, or if anything, he didn't take it back once Asta took it. And the way that Ghosh said that made it seem like he could have easily done that. Like, he's powerful enough. Why'd you let him get away with that sword? You could have gotten it. That's where I felt like Ghosh was going before he trailed off. And that just makes me really curious, because it was also the moment, like I said, with the Grimoire, where I think it was Raya was like, hey, that kid has your Grimoire, aren't you going to get it back? And he's like, that's not my Grimoire anymore, So he seemingly just allowed Asta to keep that Grimoire, which used to be his. Asta took a sword from him that used to be his, and he never even took the other swords back, which I think are supposed to be his as well, So, I don't know. It was just, I feel like that's something important. I don't know what it is, whether the real Licht, because Patri's the one that put together this whole reincarnation scheme, right? Like, he's the one, he was like the first one that came back. I don't even recall if we remember like how he came back. I don't remember if it was something Licht did right before he died back in Elven times, or what, but it just makes me wonder if all of this is Patri's scheme, but it's not really what Licht wants. Like, maybe Licht still wants peace with the humans. Maybe he can somehow forgive these people. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too much to ask. And then that'd be kind of interesting if, like, Licht came into conflict with Patri, who looked up to Licht, and that would be a really interesting dynamic where, like, Patri spent his whole life trying to formulate this plan and execute it, and if Licht disagrees, what's higher priority in his mind? Does he respect Licht's wishes and stops, or does he keep his own pride and keeps going with his own plan? I think that could be like a really interesting dynamic for those two characters to see how they end up. But at the same time, I really don't know. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it from me. Good episode. It gave me a lot to think about and everything, and wrapped up several of the fights, and now the Black Bulls are going to be heading after Yami, seemingly into the Shadow Palace. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's end it here. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see a couple episodes ahead. You can do so through my early access tier. There's also all kinds of exclusive shows on there where I am watching things like Tribe 9. We have Jujutsu Kaisen is still on there that hasn't been released to YouTube yet, although will be soon. We have Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if I said that already. And Reincarnated the Slime Season 2. All kinds of stuff on there. Check it out. Thank you guys so much. Link in the description, or it should be popping up on the screen. And I will see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.